Hi everyone, how are you doing today? It seems like my videos are coming at the every other week now. That might be my mode of operation for a while. I'm picking up my pace on my decluttering, but getting around to doing the videos seems almost like an every other week thing. I know for sure I won't be posting next week because next week is my 4th week rotation. One of the 25 things I'm doing this year is each week I am choosing to fast from something. And next week is going to be my fast from social media. So every 4 weeks I'll be coming around to the same fast. So I fast from wine. And then the second week I fasted from TV. This week I fasted from sugar. And then next week is going to be my fast from social media. I did really great with the fast from the wine and the fast from the TV, but boy, for all of you that know how much I like chocolate, this week has been a bit of a struggle, and there was a little bit of sweet eating. So bummer about that, but each week, you know, I get to reset and go again. So maybe the next rotation on no sweets, I'll do better. So what have you been up to? How's your decreasing going? How's your motivation going? The other day I posted on my Facebook page about my why. When I had the chance to put all my Christmas decorations away this season, I had cleared out enough things that all of my decorations fit on my decoration shelf, which I was very happy about because typically I have the decorations shelf filled and then there's some boxes sitting in front of the shelf. So that was a great motivator for me. I don't know if it was the holidays or the fact that I'm coming closer to some little harder choices that I'm going to have to make as I start to decrease some things that might be a little bit harder for me to get rid of. So I don't know why the motivation kind of declined, but seeing all those decorations sitting on the shelf and nothing sitting on the floor was like, yes, this is why you're doing this. Less stuff to manage equals more time to pursue the things I want to pursue, and less stuff, less stress. So anyhow, I was really glad to see that. This week and last week, what have I been up to? I've gotten rid of a total of 24 items during week 11, and then another 161 items during week number 12. So those items included trashing some more pens, giving away a shelf, and 18 pictures and sayings. So I enjoy motivational saying signs, and I have a wall in our bedroom that had a lot of them on. And even though some of those signs have been hanging up there for a long time, I really couldn't tell you what they all said. And as I was taking them down, I thought, oh yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, I like that. But I decided I wanted the clear wall more. That clear wall is going to probably find itself refilled, refilled with probably portraits and a shelf. So it's cleared out, and it's kind of nice to see that blank space. Now, something I have to do is fill in all of those holes where the nails and the screws were, and then of course give it a little touch-up paint, hoping that paint is not dried up. So, oh, I don't know, maybe we painted that upstairs 15 years ago. And we also painted our mudroom, bathroom, and kitchen all the same green color, not the same, upstairs is gold, but where I'm going with this, the last time I pulled out a bucket of paint from that same time period, I need to touch up a spot there in the kitchen, the bucket of paint was dried out. So that bucket of paint got to go in the trash can, but the label was so faded, I have no idea what the color was that I had. So Brad suggested that I take a real close-up picture of the wall, and maybe they can match the paint from there. So probably, you know, again, I've got my fingers crossed, hopeful that the bucket of gold paint for the bedroom will not be dried up. In my use up category during week 11, I used up 2 balls of yarn this year. Again, I've listed 25 things I really want to do in 2025. And of course, this 5,700 decrease is one of those items. But also what I'm doing for birthdays this year is I'm knitting everybody a hat. Now, my kids are old enough that, you know, they don't have to be surprised what their birthday present's going to be. And the little girls, the granddaughters, are little enough, they're not watching this YouTube video. So I feel okay telling you I'm making hats for everybody. And I used 2 full balls of yarn to make a hat, one of the hats. Now, I've made 3 hats already, so I'm pretty excited about that. And so the other 2 hats that I made were from the same yarn, and that ball of yarn is going and going and going. So I might be able to get at least maybe another round on another hat. I've kind of been wondering if maybe I want to keep all the leftover pieces of yarn from the hats to make one last hat somewhere down the line with stripes of, you know, the yarns that I used for everybody else's hat. So week 12, what was I up to in week 12? This was when I was putting Christmas items away and getting Valentine decorations out. And so I had a higher number of items to throw away or pass on or what have you. So in the throwaway category were 2 different Christmas serving containers. And typically when I have something like this, you'll see this little chip here. Now, the rest of these little white spots, that's paint, that's designed like that. Last year and the year before, I was able to ignore this little chip because I thought, well, it's not all that different from these little paint spots. And the other thing I told myself, I could probably get some nail polish out and maybe, you know, paint that. But this year, I'm making a different choice. This is going in the trash can because I have a lot of service, you know, holiday service items. And I don't necessarily have to keep this one. I've enjoyed using it. It was from my sister. I've loved using it these, you know, past few years. But now it's done its time and it's going to be retired from service. Something else similar to that, when I worked before I had kids, the fellas at my work would give me a gift at different holidays. And one year they gave me this little glass jar with chocolates in it. And I have loved putting this jar out for many, many years. But again, it's cracked. I mean, it broke. Brad glued it. We've glued it and re-glued it. And, you know, it can cut me. You know, it's got some sharp edges on it still. And I've decided I've loved having this for more than 30 years, but because it's broken and because, you know, it's got a sharp edge on it, I'd hate for somebody to reach into that candy jar and cut themselves. So that jar too is going. I also threw away a couple other Valentine decorations because they weren't in good shape. A garland that typically I put on the Valentine tree was thrown away because the braid has come apart, and so it was no longer good. And something else, I had a tin with a bunch of ornament hooks, and what I did was I shook it and I tried pulling it apart, and I asked myself, don't you have a couple of these, you know, containers with ornament hooks? Do you really need to save these 25, 30, whatever tangled up ornaments? Are you going to take the time to untangle them? Are you going to continue to shake it and maybe 1 or 2 fall out and waste your time and effort and be, you know, like, a little frustrated? No, I threw them away. And you're hearing me say I'm throwing things away. It is not easy for me to throw things away. I value the things I have, and I want it to be a good steward of the things I have. But I'm finding maybe it's just time for some of these things to go. So I'm learning. My one use up category this time was a Bath & Body Works Bath Body Wash. I decided I'm not going to keep buying Bath & Body Wash items. I have a little container with things that I've bought, excuse me, over the years. So I'm calling those a use up, because that's going to be an end of a category for me. In the giveaway pile is 10 t-shirts. I have a friend at church that is making jump ropes for Operation Christmas Child shoe boxes, and she put a message out on Facebook that if you have any old t-shirts, she'd love to have them. They're cutting them in strips, braiding them, and turning them into jump ropes. So I have 10 t-shirts, and I'm going to be even more generous with what I'm decreasing in Brad's drawer, in my drawer of t-shirts, because both of our t-shirt drawers are kind of full still, you know, trying to push that drawer back in or pull it out. So there's probably some more that'll get put into that bag for my friend. Valentine's ornaments. I put up a Valentine tree every year, and it's real easy when I'm at the thrift shop. I see some cute Valentine ornaments, so you buy the whole bag. Well, I've done that a lot of times, and I have a lot of Valentine ornaments. So what I decided was I was going to purge those. So there were 95 ornaments that I'm going to give away to the thrift shop, and then there was 45 more ornaments / decorations that I'm going to take into the senior center and use for some decorating there. So they'll no longer be mine. I'm going to donate them to the senior center. And I also decided the garland that there was one that was ruined. There were 3 more that were still nice, but I decided I was going to pass that on to someone else that would like to use that garland. So that equaled this week 161 items that are being removed from my home. That brings my tally for these first 12 weeks, so 12 weeks, roughly my first 3 months, to 1,117. I've fallen a little behind what I would say my quota needs to be to continue my progress to 5,700 items decrease. As I mentioned earlier in the podcast here, I'm getting to some categories that are hard. I'm moving towards my craft and my material and my project zones. There are a lot of items that I've had for a long time, and I'm in the deciding time of, do I keep them or do they go? So I'm hoping to shove myself forward and make some tough decisions. For example, I think I have 5 or 6 full-size bags of batting, of stuffing. Now, I've gotten them from thrift shops. I've gotten them from my mom. I think initially I did actually buy a bag of stuffing so that I could stuff my Christmas ornaments that I make and the birds I make. I would be hard pressed to use 1.5 of those bags of batting. I don't need 5. So there's something that, even though it's like, oh, I'm still making those kind of things, I still have projects for that, I'm going to probably try and pass some of that on. And again, I tell Brad all the time, people that go to thrift shop want to find good stuff. And so I want to pass on to my local thrift shops some good stuff. So somebody, you know, else that's, you know, making, you know, craft projects, they're going to find some batting there soon, hopefully. So anyhow, that's what I've done. I have, again, truly enjoyed hearing from you. Some of you comment here, and please continue to comment here. And if you haven't commented here on the YouTube channel comment space, go ahead, try it. Go ahead and subscribe so that, you know, I know you're following along. And plus, the more activity we get, the more YouTube maybe recognizes that somebody else might like to see this video. So I hope you'll do that. If you're commenting on Facebook where I share it there, again, I truly enjoy hearing from you. I enjoy the personal text messages that I'm getting from my friends. Yay, keep going, everybody. And those Facebook messages that come in on the private message. So any way you want to communicate with me, I'm glad to chat with you. All right, I have a video that I've made on how to can venison. So what I did with that was a good learning lesson. I said to Zach when he was home, I said, I need to learn how to start and stop videos and then, you know, plug them together. Oh shoot, I wish I could remember the name of the app that he had me download. I'll say something in that video when I load it to YouTube. And he, you know, had me download this app, and I pushed all my videos together. Now, probably the next thing I'm gonna have to learn is how to just let the video run and then me talk over top of it, because I can't really chop too much or you lose the string of the audio. So I'm learning. For those of you that started out with me all the way from the beginning, thank you for sticking with me and allowing my learning curve to be okay. For those of you that are just jumping in, hey, feel free to go back and check out some of those other videos. Until I see you again, may the Lord bless you and keep you, and may his face shine upon you always. Take care.